Exactly 2 weeks ago, my wife left me. I'm not sure if she left me for another man, but she left. So, I mean, she got her own apartment. She told me she was moving out, and she moved out. Um, so that relationship, we're gonna get divorced. That relationship is over. Um, I'm trying to push that into my past and think about the future. While I meditate on the future, I'm very, very lonely. There's a very, very intense emotion. Um, I think males experience it differently, and this is I've experienced it 4 times in my life, but this is the time that I think is the most serious because I'm in my 50s, and it's really possible I could be lonely forever. I might just never find another girlfriend, or at least not one who truly loves me. And I'm determined to use this the way we can use training stimuluses in the gym, where we can die and roll around on the floor and be flooded with lactic acid, and we totally see the purpose of it, the value of it, and we embrace that, right? I want to try to do the same thing with loneliness. I mean, it's really hard in the aftermath of a breakup to do that, to see anything but blinding pain, but I think it's possible, and I want to talk about how, like where I can already see the potential benefits and the opportunity you have to seize, because unlike training stimulus, you can't just bring it on when you want, right? You need another person to break your heart. So since I'm in that boat, I'm going to talk about how I think it can be, how I think it could save me. Maybe the number one thing I feel from this loneliness is urgency, like having your hand stuck in hot water. The water is getting hotter and hotter, and you think, okay, I am awake. I am going to pull my hand out of this water. That I think is what the prospect of an isolated life with no love is doing. Is making me think it is now or never. YouTube. I'm very lazy and indecisive about making YouTube videos. I'm going to try to overcome that this year and say what I want to say. If one person on this earth can get a little bit of help from it, that's absolutely fantastic. Improving appearance. I'm going to make. I hope I can make 100 videos about how men, men in their 50s, can really maximize the way they look, because yeah, for sure, for women it's not everything like it is for us, but it's there, it's big. And urgency about becoming wiser. I realize the last 10 years how little effort, how little time I've spent towards becoming smarter. I haven't read a book I haven't read a book in a long time. And it's not the book itself. It's not the idea of 200 pages and it has to be read as opposed to listened to, but really doing things that are just not immediately fun, for the sake of becoming a better male, becoming a more attractive guy to women, is something I realize I've got to do it right now. Not autumn, not 2027. It's got to be now. The second thing I think loneliness can give all of us, is clarity. A real sense of clarity. Not to go too deep into the boring story about my failed marriage, but for 6 months, my wife and I were arguing about money and sex and everything, and I just looked forward to the day when we would be separated. That she wouldn't be part of my life, and I wouldn't have to deal with nagging. And then when she did when she actually left, I did this incredible 180-degree turn where I thought that this is just the most terrible event in my life, and I had to convince her not to go. She was not having any of it. She left anyway. But what it really taught me is 3 months ago, I had no clarity, no insight into my own emotions. I didn't know I was going to miss her in the way that I did. I want to harness this loneliness to look deep inside myself and figure out, what do I really want here? You know, I mean, if it's just pure physical, if it's just tons of young girls, okay, that's fine. That's the conclusion I'm going to reach, and that's what I'm going to do. Or if it's somebody with a lot of emotional depth who loves me, okay, that sounds a lot better, right? But either way, I know this is a moment where I can achieve some better understanding of what I really want in my life. And I think it takes some kind of emotional crisis. Maybe it's not just loneliness, but some kind of emotional crisis to be able to achieve that kind of deep look inside oneself. The next thing after urgency and clarity is willpower. You know, I mean, because I exercise a lot, I exercise hard, right? Every day I think about harnessing the willpower to go into the gym and especially the aerobic stuff. I mean, for you know, if you do 5 sets of chin-ups or something, that doesn't take much willpower. But you know, when you're doing cardio or VO2 max intervals, you know, it takes some willpower to do it, right? And this also, like the project of just making oneself, curing oneself of loneliness, finding somebody who loves me, who I love. It's just going to take willpower. You know, I'm going to have to get on some airplanes. I'm going to have to be honest. You know, you think, well, why not be honest? But you know, it's actually hard, right? To tell a woman, I want to date you. I could love you. I need you in some way, right? Which is true. Yeah, and I mean, I haven't done that before. If I've been attracted to somebody, it was just more, yeah, I'm cool. I can, we could date. That'd be great. But I don't think it's gonna be like that in the future. I think I'm gonna have to be different. And I think keeping this memory of March 2026 in my head, like how terrible it could be to live one's life dying alone. I forget even dying, just being alone, right? Through my 50s and 60s and 70s until I die, right? To just be alone all those years. I mean, I want to feel the horror of it, right? I was watching somebody else's video on YouTube, and commenters were saying, oh, you know, I've since divorced, it's been great. I don't want to date anybody. I love my freedom. And I hope it's true for them, right? But what I really think is they're making a virtue out of a necessity. Like, I don't believe most men feel that way, right? So I don't want to lie to myself. I want to be really honest and say, this is pain, and I want to fix it. So I think that the willpower that I can find from loneliness is just exactly the kind of willpower somebody needs to get in shape. You got to find it, you got to keep it in your head, and you got to use it.